Well, I'm Chelsea, and as most of you guys already know a lot about me, I grew up in a Christian home, just kind of going about it like it was no big deal, kind of not really taking it seriously, but not taking it lightly. It was just kind of there in the back of my mind, and it was nothing I ever worried about. Then it kind of came around to the point where I hit middle school, and of course everything goes down in middle school. I started getting into a lot of really bad fights with my dad, and it just got to the point where I despised him with a passion, and I started rebelling from there. And I know that in my middle school years I did a lot of really bad things, a lot of things that I just wish that I could take back and forget, and just everything, from relationships that I shouldn't have gotten myself involved in, to drinking and just getting into that whole scene and not really caring much for religion. I kind of turned my back on it completely, to the point where I just was like, alright, well, Jesus, whatever, you know, he doesn't control me, I'm going to do what I want, regardless of what the church or God has to say about it, was kind of what I thought about it. And so that kind of continued through to, I'll say, about the middle of my freshman, or the summer between my freshman and sophomore year, where it just kind of hit me that what things I was doing, the things I was getting myself involved in, were just not good things. And I kind of had to step back for a minute and think, you know, what am I doing to myself in the long run? What am I going to be? What am I going to become from this? What am I going to accomplish by being who I am, by dating the people that I am, by drinking these things, by doing everything? And it really took a long time for me to fully wrap my head around that, but I did get a lot better. And it's only by the grace of God that happened. And when it really started hitting me was when fights with my dad again started getting worse and worse. And there were actually on several occasions where I watched my dad beat up my stepmom and drag her around a baseball field, and where I was sitting in the back with my brothers and just sitting there listening to him whine about how he wanted juice while all this was going on. You could clearly hear everything. And I called my dad Ryan, and I had him come pick me and my two brothers up, and we went home. And that night my real dad, told my Ryan that he didn't care whether or not he ever had custody of me, as long as he never had to pay child support again. And that was kind of a turning point in my life where it didn't really matter, you know, the things that I thought mattered. My dad, my relationship with my dad, the things that happened, the things that I did because of my relationship with my dad, it didn't matter, you know, because I had a God who loved me more than my real dad ever could and ever would, and that's all that mattered for it. And since then, that was a little over a year ago, and since then I've been doing my best to keep myself focused, and to just, whenever I start to go a little off track, just to take a step back and remind myself that I have a God who loves me, and I have a God who cares for me, and because of that, I need to do what I need to do, just to get myself back. And so from there, it's just, I do my best to keep myself walking along, and we're going to see what happens when I move to Oregon and you know, whether or not that's where God really wants me is, you know, I'll just have to wait and find out, and we'll see where it goes in my life from there. So, yeah, that's my testimony, and, you know, I hope that someone out there can kind of take the things that I've gone through and just look at them and be like, oh, wow, well, I'm in whatever grade, I'm not doing so great. Maybe, what if this happens to me? Maybe, I hope that you guys can learn from that and not make the same mistakes that I do. And if you do, just know that there's never a situation that God will place you in that you can't get through without His help. And that's something that's always gotten me. Yeah.